Hello, beautiful friends. It's Erika, yet again in a new place, but it is still me. Excited to do a reading today, just to get a sense of the dynamic between the collective divine masculine and divine feminine energies. Now, first of all, I'm recording this on the Lion's Gate, so how are you guys doing? I gotta tell you, I was woken up in the middle of the night with such intense energies and downloads. It was like, literally like fire and quite amazing energies. And if you guys haven't seen it, I have done a specific Lionsgate portal reading for both the divine masculine and divine feminine. So do go check that out if you haven't seen it yet, because it's essentially like the spiritual new year, setting the tone for the next 12 months through August of 2020. So definitely go check that out if you haven't yet. And today we're going to be taking a look at what is going on with the masculine, the feminine, and the dynamic between the two. So obviously some of you guys are going to be watching this video specific to, for example, a relationship and a specific person. But many of you are going to be watching this from the standpoint of understanding what's going on in the dynamic between your own inner masculine and inner feminine energies, and what the dance is between the two. So with that, I'm going to get started. Either way that you watch it, sometimes people will watch it twice, both with it, each time with a different lens. So whatever you feel drawn to doing, these videos are multi-purpose and can be used multiple ways. So with that, I'm going to pull an overall energy here for the sacred masculine for the reading, again, which is intended to be timeless. So whenever you're finding this and the message resonates, that's Spirit's way of bringing you the message. Really quickly, technical detail. The last video I posted, which was the soul growth video, I had linked the wrong checkout page to the extended for that. So I know some of you guys had tried to get it, and it was linking to the wrong checkout page in the wrong video. So if that's the case, and you had wanted to watch it, the video, it's all fixed now. That's what happens when you get out of your rhythm and you're traveling and you're in a different environment. Sometimes those things can just slip up. So if it is fixed now though, so it should be working just fine. Okay, so let's pull an overall card for the divine masculine energy here. And we're getting, you are good enough. Huge message that's been very consistent for the inner masculine, which is dealing with unworthiness. Feeling like they don't have to be this specific type of, they don't have to fit the mold that they were conditioned that they may need to fit when they were younger. You know, what are you supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be achieving at this stage of your life? What are the expectations being put on you by society, by your family, by yourself? And when the divine masculine is getting, you are good enough, to me, this is a beautiful message of full self-acceptance and working through self-acceptance. And also a lot of this does stem from the realizations now around how the distorted masculine has really impacted not only your life, but the lives of people around you. And that can bring about some feelings of shame and guilt sometimes. So this is a beautiful message around self-acceptance for the sacred masculine. So let's pull a card here for the divine feminine and see what message is coming through. And we're getting hold your vision. So whatever's happening in your life right now, the sacred feminine I'm getting this image of, she's like standing. Okay, and this is probably because I was just here, but they're giving me an image of someone who's standing in a subway, like I was the other day in New York City. And you know, when you're standing up in the subway, and the subway, the train's moving, and it's moving quickly, and it's rocking side to side. And the way that you steady yourself is almost by taking a bit of a wide stance and like making sure your knees are not locked, and just kind of go with it. Where it's like, okay, no, I'm holding the vision. There could be stuff moving around me. I could be turning left. I could be turning right, but it's up to me to keep things stable in my life. So this is the message that's coming through for the sacred feminine right now, is no matter what's going on, is to just stay steady in your knowing and in your truth, and really hold your vision for where you're going, no matter what's trying to distract you. And there are a lot of distractions coming up. And if you guys, I know many of you guys have given me the incredible feedback, but the extended reading I did, oh gosh, I'm going to forget which one it was at this point. The extended reading I did for, it could have been for the Lion's Gate. I'm so sorry, I'm not remembering. I'll have to maybe look it up and see if I can remember to post it below. But there are a lot of distractions coming in to distract right now. These could be things we see in the news, current events, things that are intended to keep you distracted. So do not let what's happening around you at that perspective distract you from your spiritual truth, from your spiritual path, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. Those of you that have seen the extended video where Spirit gave very clear guidance to the Divine Feminine in particular about this, you know what I'm talking about. So let's see what's happening in the dynamic between the two. What is the theme coming up right now for the dynamic between the masculine and this card really wants to come out. Have faith in your dreams. Okay. So coming up in between the masculine and the feminine energies right now is continuing to have faith in what you are dreaming to manifest, what you are looking to call into your experience. And your faith may be being tested right now. Tested, questioned. Again, you may be getting distracted from where you're trying to go. But, when both of you guys are have faith in your dreams, this is a reminder to stay clear on your path, and that both of you may be experiencing some level of doubt or uncertainty at the moment. But let's see how this is going to play out. I'm going to pull more cards and see what is actually happening. I'm going to pull 9 cards for each of you guys, each of the dynamics. Sorry, 3, not 9. 9 total. 3 times 3 is 9. Last time I checked. But this new math, you never know, that could be changing, right? But let's see, let's get an overall message here for the main energy for the sacred masculine. And by the way, I do put the decks I'm using down below. So the masculine is getting the 2 of Wands. And right as the leaf blowers decide to go right outside the window. So if you hear those guys again, I apologize in advance. Hopefully the sound is still fine. But he's getting the 2 of Wands. So he's in an energy where he could be at a crossroads. He could be keeping an eye on the future, wanting to know where he's going, paying attention to what he sees coming in the distance, having a vision. So we're going to see how this plays out here as we pull more cards. But I'm actually going to pull the other 2 cards while we're here. Tell me more about the 2 of Wands. And he's getting the Hanged Man. The main energy is the top energy. These other 2 are supporting messages. And then he's also getting the King of Swords. So what this feels like to me is he's in an energy of looking at things. He may have been stuck. He may have been at a pause. When I'm getting the 2 of Wands and the Hanged Man here, this is really almost like he's been trying to figure out where to go, what to do, and he's had to look at things from a new perspective. He's had to evaluate this situation. He's tried to evaluate what his options might be. But then he's now come into this energy of clarity, of decisiveness with this King of Swords. He's ready to act and to lead from his truth. But it did take him a bit of energy to it feels like it's taken an outside situation that has forced him in some ways to look at things differently than he has in the past. But it has brought him this strength and this clarity with this King of Swords. And when we're getting this with the You Are Good Enough card, to me, I'm hearing he's accepted his humanness. He's accepted his Sorry, the cloth just moved. He's accepted his needs to learn spiritual lessons by embodying human conditioning, human instincts, the third dimensional world. Well, so again, this is the concept of self-acceptance. It's like he's come to this clarity, really, of just it's like it's a very matter-of-fact energy. I was trying to figure out the words to explain it, but it's a very matter-of-fact. It's like, nope, okay, this is how it is. Yep, all right, this is what it was. All right, can't do anything about it, and I'm going to move on. Let's see where the feminine is here with this Hold Your Vision. I'm going to get 3 cards for the Sacred Feminine. And I will be doing an extended if this is resonating for you guys, by the way. So she's getting the 4 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, and they're giving us 2, which is the World and the Queen of Cups. So it feels like for the Sacred Feminine, she's in a place where she may be recuperating. She may be taking a little bit of time after something has shifted, after something may have ended. She may be licking her wounds to some degree. Some of you may have just recently become single. Maybe you have ended a relationship. Again, whether this is regarding a specific person or not. Some of you may have ended a relationship that was, maybe you thought was the one, or you thought was the significant relationship. And at the end of the day, you realized you're better on your own. And you may be questioning your faith in the vision of you being able to be happy. Like, okay, because you maybe associated this emotional fulfillment with a specific person from your past, that maybe you've now realized some things where you're like, it's probably not that person, or I'm moving on from this person. And because I'm getting the World here with the Queen of Cups, and this can be about emotional intensity as well as completions and endings, but also is a card of enlightenment, having things balanced. So for some of you, whatever has ended has actually brought you back into this balance that feels actually pretty good. Maybe something that you thought would be more difficult to end or complete, and all of a sudden it's actually not that bad. So I'm going to get just a couple clarifiers here before I move on to the dynamic. And the Judgment card here with this 2 of Wands. Let's see the Hanged Man. He's getting the Wheel of Fortune. And the King of Swords. And the Page of Swords. Okay. So some of you some of the masculine energy is really looking and evaluating their lives, really looking at where things are at. Something's come in that has caused you to look at things from a new perspective that also has been very good, very positive with this Wheel of Fortune. Some of you may be communicating some truth here. Some of you may have communicated something kind of bluntly, kind of quickly without thinking it through. And some of you may just be observing life from the outside here, kind of this Page of Swords energy. Not quite sure what you're seeing, maybe not quite sure you want people to see you seeing. Very interesting, very interesting. And we'll get more when we get into the dynamic between the two, of course. So let's see what the 4 of Swords is for the Sacred Feminine. And the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Swords. Wow, new beginnings. Clarity, truth. And the 3 of Wands. Okay. So some of you may have started something. So it feels like if this is about a relationship between a masculine and a feminine energy, there could have been something communicated here that was like talking about things, looking at things differently, but maybe it was a little bit premature. Maybe you had the conversation a little too soon, or maybe it didn't go quite as you had hoped. But at the same time, because we do have this new beginning here, and this truth and this victory and this clarity coming in. So for some of you, like I said, some of you may have moved on from whoever this person is because of your new realizations. For some of you, this could be you beginning a reconnection with a person, because this is about abundance and making long-term plans here. Enlightenment, waiting. You've been waiting. So if there's been something communicated between you and another person, Divine Feminine, it's like you may have been waiting for this communication for quite a while, because it's been here. Here's this new start after having taken, like, the masculine may have been explaining to you the need to have been a little bit apart, a little bit on your own, and a little bit on his own, sorry. It's so interesting. I feel like I'm getting multiple scenarios here, so take what resonates and leave the rest, because sometimes Spirit wants to bring a lot of messages through. Sometimes they're ultra clear in one scenario. But let's get the clarity here for the dynamic between the two. This will really solidify what scenario they're wanting to talk about today. So we have the Emperor, Ace of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Okay. So here's the energy of sacred masculine. Here's the leadership. Here's the discipline. Here is this truth and this clarity, this victory energy, and the dynamic between the masculine and the feminine. And now that I'm seeing all of these together, what's coming through for me clearly here is this is about perseverance and not giving up and making sure that you're not being too guarded. Have faith in your dreams. If this is a time where you're needing to kind of dig deep and keep your vision going, we're getting hold your vision, have faith in your dreams, and then you are good enough. So whatever's happening right now, they're wanting you guys to stay steady with it. Whether it's with your inner masculine and your inner feminine. It's up to the feminine right now. The feminine feels like she's the one who's going to be holding the ground. Not that the masculine's not doing his part. What about the Emperor? So the Emperor is getting the Knight of Wands. So he's taking some action. The masculine's taking the lead in some way here. With the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Swords. So this is very, very positive wish fulfillment for both of you. And some of you, and then we're getting the King of Pentacles with the Nine of Wands. So this is about abundance, action, as well as perseverance. Somebody has persevered here that has brought you guys to this point. This have faith in your dreams card could also be this energy of reminding you, like, you've come to this point where there's this new start happening that's aligning with where you're supposed to be, and you're realizing that, like, this is this brand new starting point. This is the start. This is the reset button. I'm going to pull a card on each of the top cards too. You are good enough. Yeah, the masculine's gotten out of some emotional confusion a little bit, maybe having some options or fearing that there were some options. Here's the Nine of Pentacles twice on the Divine Feminine side. So the feminine energy is very abundant right now. She's good on her own. She doesn't need the masculine. She's good. She's abundant. So she's holding the fort down in a lot of ways here. And tell me about the faith in your dreams card. Have faith in your dreams. And we're getting the Two of Wands again. So this is about continuing a passionate partnership, looking forward, creating the future. So in terms of the energies here, these are all really, really like new start, very, very positive. And then we're getting the Knight of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. So here is an offer being made of love after a period of time that needed to be, like, you were wondering whether this was actually going to come forth. Is the work that you put in worth it? Tell me about the Seven of Cups here. And we're getting the Justice card and the Page of Pentacles. So here it is. So this is about karmic justice coming into balance, aligning your lives with where they're supposed to be, having learned a lot of lessons, coming into that energy of being ready to start something new. Because we have, look at here, we've got 2 pages on the side of the Divine Masculine. So this is the rookie energy, doing things differently, doing things in a new way, not being very adept at them yet. This is like the fumbling teenager, right? A little awkward, little not sure, you know, full of enthusiasm, but not really quite knowing what to do. And then on the Divine Feminine side, we're getting 2 Nine of Pentacles, where she's good on her own. She's abundant. She may desire a masculine in her life, but she also is fine on her own. But she's getting the 2 aces here. And in the dynamic between them, you know, this is about locking arms and starting to move forward, both being like, okay, let's go down this road together, start skipping down the road, but we don't really know where it's going, but we got to do this together. And we want to work together. Yeah, this is what you've been waiting for, this chance to combine forces. And here's this Knight of Wands and the Emperor's taking, in the 2 of Cups, a soulmate energy, a soulmate connection here that is moving forward. Someone's taking action. The Divine Masculine is taking action. Because no more BS. We have the Queen of Swords and the 5 of Swords. That's dropping the BS. And the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. You got the 3 of Cups. So yeah, this is celebration. This is steady forward movement. This is legitimate movements, but is somebody taking action? So for some of you, if you're, for example, watching this not for a relationship in particular, but for your inner masculine and inner feminine, you're an inner feminine, what this is saying is if you've been something that you've been afraid to take action on, that you've been wanting to take action on, that maybe you've had to learn some lessons through, you're now ready to do that. You might not quite be adept at it yet, but you're being more decisive. And you're realizing that you are worthy to be able to bring this into your experience. And for the inner masculine, the inner masculine is ready to work in tandem with his inner feminine. You know, he's realizing her value, whereas before it used to be, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. I don't like these emotions. This is too much. But it's like he's become friends with her. He's become friends with his own inner feminine energies, and he now knows how to nurture them and use them in a much better way. So guys, I'm going to actually pull a guidance card for each of you before I head on to the extended. But in the extended, what we're going to do is we're going to look at really what's led up to this point, get a little bit more of the backstory of how they've gotten here, where they're going, and what lessons are being learned by each the masculine and the feminine right now, and what they're both currently feeling and thinking about their dynamic. So how are they relating to this energy that's here in between them? What are they wishing was different about the dynamic, as well as what are they really happy about? And then we're going to get even more guidance. So the link for that is going to be down below. But before I do that, I'm going to pull a guidance card for each the masculine and the feminine, for those of you not going on to the extended. All right, so with that, I'm going to pull a guidance card here for the sacred masculine. Bring love into the situation. There it is. I told you he's friends now with his inner feminine. So this is not scary for him to do anymore. It might be a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's not terrifying and the way that it used to be. So this is about him bringing his inner feminine energy and his connection to his open heart into the situation. He's ready to show up with an open heart. And so they're asking you to make sure that whatever you do from here on, don't close off your masculine because of fear or doubt or conditioning. So let's see here for the feminine, what's the guidance for the sacred feminine? A time for healing. Yeah, with all these new starts and completions here, this is a time to focus on healing the dynamic with your masculine or your inner masculine. This is about really making things, like putting things in perspective and making them, like, it's one thing to go through a difficult time, but it's another when you understand the reasoning and the end result and why you had to go through it. But definitely saying that when you're going to bring love into the situation and a time for healing, to me this could be about a reconciliation or a resurgence of a relationship that has not run its course. And last, I'm going to pull a piece of guidance for both of you together, both the masculine and the feminine. Show the world the real you. Here we go. Who are you really? Don't be afraid to show who you really are. All of you. Warts and all, right? The full acceptance. The good things that we've done, the things that we wish we hadn't done, maybe the things we wish we had done differently. But show the world the real you. Show up as this power couple of either a power couple of integrated souls that are coming together in an actual sacred partnership, or whether this is just within your own inner masculine and inner feminine energies. It's like, now that you've aligned these, because these are very aligned together, it's like they're really ready to move forward in sacred union. And now it's time to show people what it's like to show up when you're in union with self or with another soul that has done their work as well. All right, lovely friends. Well, I'm going to go over to the extended. I hope this has been helpful. And until next time, bye.